What's up guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Ivy.
I'm RJ.
And for today's video, we will show you how to determine the horizontal and vertical of rational functions.
Let's go! Finding the vertical asymptotes of rational functions. They are the restriction on the x values of our reduced rational function. To find the restriction, equate the denominator to 0 and solve for x.
And for finding the horizontal asymptotes of rational function, let n be the degree of numerator and m be the degree of denominator.
So, if numerator is less than the denominator, it means our horizontal asymptote is 0.
Then, if numerator is equal to the denominator, where a is the leading coefficient of numerator and b is the leading coefficient of denominator.
And if numerator is greater than the denominator, there is no horizontal asymptote. Remember, on the vertical asymptote, that is in x-axis, and for horizontal asymptote, that is in y-axis. That's why, for vertical asymptote, we're going to use x, and for horizontal, we're going to use variable y. Don't change the variable from vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. So, we have here example number 1. We have f of x is equal to 2 over x minus 5. Now always remember, for finding the vertical asymptote, you just need to focus on the denominator. Our denominator is x minus 5. Then equate the denominator to 0. X minus 5 equals 0. Then move the negative 5 to the right side. So it will be x is equal to positive 5. Therefore, our vertical asymptote is x is equal to 5. We can say the graph has the line of x is equal to positive 5 as a vertical asymptote. Now, let's move on how to find the horizontal asymptote of this. Now, let's move on how to find the horizontal asymptote. And finding the horizontal asymptote, you just need to look to the degree of numerator and denominator. Since our numerator is constant, its degree is 0, and for our denominator is 1. It means numerator is less than denominator. Therefore, our horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 0 because of the restrictions of vertical and horizontal asymptote of rational functions. That's why when numerator is less than the denominator, automatically y is equal to 0. I will give you another example. We have here f of x is equal to 6x minus 4 over x plus 4. Let us answer first the vertical asymptote. Again, when you are going to find the vertical asymptote, you just need to focus on the denominator. Then equate the denominator to 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Then move the positive 4 to the right side, so it will become x equals to negative 4. Why it become negative? Because before you move it to the right side, it is positive. So after you move it to the right side, it will become negative. Therefore, our vertical asymptote is x equals negative 4. So the graph has the line x is equal to negative 4 as vertical asymptote. Now let's move on to horizontal asymptote. Again, for finding the horizontal asymptote, you just need to focus on the degree of numerator and denominator. So our degree of our numerator is 1, and for our denominator is 1. Therefore, our degree of numerator and denominator are equal. So because our numerator and denominator are equal, we're going to use the y variable for horizontal asymptote of y is equal a over b. Again, a is the leading coefficient of numerator and b is the leading coefficient of denominator. So our leading coefficient of our numerator is 6, and for our denominator is 6, and for our denominator is 1. Then substitute our leading coefficients of our numerator and denominator. So y is equal to 6 over 1. So y is equal to 6 over 1. So the answer is 6. Therefore, our horizontal asymptote is y is equal to positive 6. Therefore, the line of the graph has y is equal to positive 6 as a horizontal asymptote. So, let me give you another example. So, we have here f of x is equal of 8x minus 6 over x plus 6. Again, to find the vertical asymptote, you just need to focus on the denominator. Then equate the denominator to 0. Then move to the right side the positive 6. So it will be x equals negative 6, because before you move the positive 6 to the right side, it is positive. So when you move it to the right side, it will be negative. That's why our answer for our vertical asymptote is x is equal to negative 6. Therefore, the graph has the line x is equal to negative 6 as the vertical asymptote. So now we're going to find the horizontal asymptote of the same given problem. So again, always remember, if you're going to find the horizontal asymptote, you just need to focus on the degree of numerator and denominator. So the degree of numerator is 1, and for our denominator is 1. Therefore, our numerator and denominator degree are equal. So we're going to use y is equal to a over b. Okay, what is our a? Our leading coefficient of our numerator. So that is 8. And our leading coefficient of our denominator is 1. So 8 over 1 is equal to 8. Therefore, our horizontal asymptote is positive 8. So the graph has line of y is equal to positive 8 as a horizontal asymptote. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoy it and learn something new and you can apply it to your daily life. So RJ and Renil is not here. So if you like and you learn something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.